Ahoy fellow cruisers! Today we're taking you on board the Crown Princess, a classic beauty that mixes timeless elegance, a dash of nostalgia and cutting edge technology. In this video we'll uncover the charming and the not so charming, as well as find the hidden gems of this beautiful ship. And of course stay tuned to find out what this all-inclusive cruise cost us as we break down the full costs.
It's January the 25th, it's Australia Day weekend here and Circular Quay in Sydney is absolutely buzzing, so apologies for the crazy noise in the background. We are getting on Crown Princess this weekend. We're heading down to Hobart for 4 days. The sun gods are shining on us. It's been a miserable week in Sydney, but it's gorgeous today, so let's get on board.
Princess Cruises does things a little differently when it comes to boarding. There aren't any strict time slots, so it's more of a show up, join the queue and hope for the best situation. When we arrived at the terminal around 11 AM to drop off our bags, we were expecting a bit of a wait. Instead, we were walking the gangway within 10 minutes flat. Honestly, I have waited longer for coffee in Sydney.
This never gets old.
No, it doesn't.
It really is always exciting, just as much as the first time, eh?
Thank you.
With the muster drill out of the way, it was time to do what we always do on embarkation day on a new ship and explore. First stops, the kids club and the spa. So let's dive into the kids club first. Now it's been a while since our kids were in a kids club, but we always like to have a peek into what can be a beautiful space on a cruise ship. From speaking to the staff in each area, they each offer specific activities such as arts and crafts, dancing, movies, Lego, computer games, science activities, themed events, treasure hunts, and I'm running out of breath, but there's so much more. There are 3 separate areas. The treehouse, which is a forest themed space for the little ones aged 3 to 7. The lodge, which is inspired by the great outdoors and is for the kids aged 8 to 12. And finally, the beach house, which is a more relaxed space for the 13 to 17 year olds, which even has its own bar serving mocktails. Alright cruisers, let's talk about staying fit at sea. Like many ships, Crown Princess has you covered, so let's start with the gym, which honestly surprised us. For a cruise line who typically attracts an older clientele, this gym was really impressive and much bigger than expected. It's packed out with state-of-the-art equipment, most of which had only been replaced in recent months according to one of the staff members. They also offer a range of classes such as Tour de Cycle, Pilates, yoga and boot camps. There's plenty of space to stretch out and enough free weights to get your pump on if that's your thing. Basically, whether you're into cardio, strength training or even group fitness classes, this gym's got you covered. But if you prefer to keep active in a more casual way, the full wraparound promenade deck is for you, and it's something that only a few ships these days have. The only downside to this one is that there are a few steps to navigate as you move between decks 7 and 8 at the bow. Now let's talk about the spa. The Lotus Spa on Crown Princess is your typical cruise ship spa with a full menu of facials, body treatments, hair services and nail services and relaxing massages. You know, all the usual suspects. Here's the thing though, surprise surprise, it's ridiculously overpriced, and to make matters worse, the upsell pressure from the staff is something straight out of a sales training seminar. They will try to sell you everything from extended treatments to special lotions, and if you're not careful you will find yourself spending a small fortune just for a basic massage. Just be aware of this going on so it doesn't spoil what can actually be a really lovely treatment. And then there's the thermal suite. Now let me tell you, we absolutely loved the thermal suite on Royal Princess, but this one wasn't great. It was tiny. There's no pool, which is fine, but some of the saunas were also out of action. It just didn't feel like great value for money with so many pools and hot tubs elsewhere on board. So while the gym on Crown Princess really was a pleasant surprise, the spa, not so much. But hey, if you're just here for a solid workout or a relaxing massage or manicure, then there's definitely going to be something there for you to enjoy. Have you been to the spa or the gym on the Crown Princess? Or any other cruise line? We'd love to know what your experiences are in the comments below. Alright, let's talk about food, and we're going to start with everything that's included in your cruise fare. Starting off with the main dining rooms. Crown Princess has 3 main dining rooms on board, each serving the same food, and they all look very similar. First up is Michelangelo. This is a traditional dining room offering 2 seatings each evening, where you sit at the same table each night and with the same table group and waitstaff. If you prefer a little more variety, Botticelli allows you to pre-book a time slot. You'll be seated at a suitable table, but you won't know where that is until you get there. Also in here, the waitstaff will change depending on where you're seated. And for complete flexibility, which is our preferred choice, Da Vinci caters for walk-ins, so you don't book, you just turn up when you're ready to eat and you're allocated the next suitable table that becomes available. We really enjoyed our dining experiences in the main dining rooms on Crown Princess. The food was fantastic, there was loads to choose from, and although it's a speedier experience than specialty dining, it didn't ever feel rushed. Located at the forward end of Neptune's pool on the starboard side, you'll find the Salty Dog Grill. The grill is open from 11 AM till 10 PM, serving a range of tacos, burgers, loaded fries, hot dogs and so much more. Slice Pizzeria is at the aft end of the Neptune pool and on the port side, and also open from 11 AM till 10 PM, serving the most amazing fresh pizzas and the most delicious thin crusts. Now don't forget to ask for the specialty Minions pizza, which may or may not be just for show. We never did find out, but it sure is cute. Right next door to Slice Pizzeria is Coffee and Cones, where you can pick up your complimentary ice creams and, as well, yes you guessed it, specialty coffee for an extra charge. This is also where you can purchase the premium desserts, which are included free for those on the Plus and Premier packages. Let's chat about the Horizon Court buffet. It's definitely on the smaller side. While the layout allows for access on both sides of the ship, they only ever seemed to open one side at a time. And let me tell you, that did make it feel a little cramped. It's also a little on the dark and old-fashioned side, not exactly the vibrant, fresh-feeling buffet that you might find on newer ships. The food we tried was really fine, but we didn't enjoy the experience just because of how busy it was in there. A long-time favourite of all Princess cruisers is the International Cafe. It's perfectly located at the bottom of the piazza and is open 24 hours a day with a range of tasty, savoury and sweet treats which rotate throughout the day. Think croissants for breakfast, pies and sandwiches at lunch, and beautiful desserts in the evening. And of course, you can't miss its neighbour, the coffee bar, which was often so busy they sometimes had to bring in sommeliers and officers to help out. Got to tell you, the coffee wasn't too bad in there at all, and it definitely is worth the wait. Of course, there are also some specialty dining options on board Crown Princess, and if like us you had the Premier package, these are all included free in your cruise fare. Otherwise they're available to book at a cost per person. We're going to start looking at Sabatini's, which according to the Princess Cruises website has been voted one of the best cruise ship specialty restaurants at sea by USA Today. Sabatini's is an Italian themed restaurant offering up a menu of homemade pastas, seafood and classic Italian flavours. And on our last Princess cruise we had what we can only describe as an incredible meal. So with that in mind, we were excited to try Sabatini's again on Crown Princess, so much so that we had in fact booked to eat there on 2 different occasions for this cruise. Now here's a complaint I never thought I'd make. There was too much food. Course 5 was practically a meal all on its own, and by the time we'd gotten to that point, we were stuffed. So much so, we didn't even have room for dessert, which is a real shame. Overall, we loved our meal in Sabatini's on Crown Princess. The decor could do with a little bit of a lift out of the 1980s, but otherwise the food was spectacular. The second specialty dining restaurant on board is the ship's signature steakhouse Crown Grill. This is a beautiful restaurant with elegant dark wood panelling and an open kitchen. Having learned our lesson from the previous night in Sabatini's, we arrived at Crown Grill starving. I ordered a steak and Mike decided to try the lamb after our waiter had insisted it was very special. He ordered it rare, but sadly when it arrived it was really overcooked. He did give it a good try, but after struggling to cut it, the waiter even noticed and came over to inspect. He was super apologetic and promised a new serving in 2 minutes. We totally get it, sometimes things can go wrong in the kitchen, but this is a steakhouse and it was quiet. This was supposed to be a special meal. Their words, not ours. They had one job and sadly it didn't hit the mark. We were actually very sad to see that Crown Princess doesn't have an Alfredo's pizza, but instead it has the Salty Dog gastropub. Now unfortunately we didn't have a chance to try this one out, but it did look really good from what we saw. I think we've definitely missed out there and we'll be trying it next time. We love to order a room service breakfast so that we can relax with a coffee before a busy day on board. They're never very grand and presentation can be hit or miss, but there's nothing quite like a coffee and a light bite on your balcony to start the day. And I have to say that this breakfast was one of the nicer room service breakfasts we've had, and she arrived bang on time. Guests with Plus or Premier packages can get this for free, otherwise there's a $5 fee per order. When it comes to soaking up the sun or making a splash, Crown Princess has plenty of pools and outdoor spaces for those of you who love the fresh, salty air. Whether you want to cool off, watch movies, lounge with a cocktail or dance the night away at a top deck party, it has you covered. Actually, cover's probably the only thing it doesn't have. Please Princess, install some umbrellas up there, it's hot. Right at the heart of the ship, you've got Neptune's Reef and Pool, which was our favourite pool on board. It's surrounded by loungers, has 2 hot tubs, and it's also home to the mixed poolside bar and the Salty Dog Grill. Nestled below the giant Movies Under the Stars screen, you'll find the Calypso pool and hot tubs and bar. And of course, by night, the deck turns into an open-air cinema complete with popcorn and cosy blankets. No cruise is complete without a bit of evening onstage entertainment, and on Crown Princess, the Princess Theatre is the place to be. It's a classic, elegant theatre with a beautiful stage, traditional seating, and a great lineup of performances throughout your cruise. Think Broadway-style productions, live music, comedians, game shows, and so much more. There really was something for everyone. On our cruise, the show Magic to Do was a complete standout. This is one of a series of collaborations with Princess Cruises and Stephen Schwartz, who's the Oscar, Grammy and Tony Award-winning writer of international hits such as Wicked, Godspell and Pippin, and it is not to be missed. If you want the best seats though, make sure you get here 20 to 30 minutes ahead of showtime, because once those doors open, it fills up fast. Day or night, if you're looking for a venue that blends live entertainment and music, Club Fusion is the place to be. It's a versatile venue. It's part lounge, part nightclub and part game show central. So there's always something happening here. It's always busy with music, karaoke, trivia, game shows, dance classes and so much more. There's also a bar with plenty of roaming servers, but we did find it quicker to go to the bar ourselves sometimes. Now, there typically aren't a lot of children on board Princess Cruises compared to other cruise lines. There definitely can be some during school holidays, etc. And if you're looking for some guaranteed adult-only time, Crown has you covered with a surprising number of adult-only spaces. Right at the aft of the ship and beyond the buffet, you'll find the multi-level terrace pool and outrigger bar. The pool is small and it doesn't have hot tubs, which is a shame, but it's a perfect size for cooling off on a hot day, and the views here of the ship's wake are fantastic. It's a brilliant spot for sail away as well. We've compared this ship to Royal Princess a lot, and often not in the best light, but something we loved on Crown, which Royal didn't have, is a nightclub. Skywalkers is a bit old school, but a lot of fun, and yes, the DJ's name really was Luke. The dance floor was packed all night with absolute floor fillers and fan favourites, everything from classic disco to modern chart toppers. It's one of those places where you just can't resist getting up and joining in, and even if you swore you were only stopping by for one drink, it gets you hooked. Okay folks, let's talk about the Sanctuary, the adults only retreat on Crown Princess that promises peace, quiet and a touch of luxury. We booked a spot here on our first sea day, and honestly we had such high hopes for it, but as you'll see, things didn't exactly go as planned. The Sanctuary is located right at the front of the ship, and let me tell you, the views are incredible. It's got this super serene vibe with comfy loungers and cosy chairs and a couple of private cabanas where you can book spa treatments. It's set up to be a zen space, away from all the hustle bustle of the ship, so it really should be the perfect place to unwind. It's a paid experience. It costs $30 per half day, and you also get to pick your seat when you book, so it's yours for the duration of your stay. We decided to give it a try on our first sea day afternoon. We had booked a couple of sunbeds right at the front, avoiding the wind, but despite it being a beautiful day, it was freezing. Glass up there actually has gaps, and so the wind was howling through there. So we asked for some blankets, and thankfully they brought us plenty to keep us warm. Still a little chilly under our blankets, we asked for some more, and at that point our attendant actually suggested that we move to a row further back, which would be warmer. What a difference it made. The temperature was way better. Okay, on to lunch. It was tasty, but the random bento box presentation, that's just a bit weird. I mean, it's not exactly what you'd expect for a premium lounging experience. It wasn't terrible, but we were both left scratching our heads wondering, is this luxury? However, mid-afternoon something lovely happened. The afternoon tea trolley rolled around. Oh, what a lovely touch. It had finger sandwiches, pastries, the whole deal. It was definitely a highlight of the day. By the time we left the Sanctuary, there were still only around 6 to 8 people in there. And here's the kicker though, on our way out we passed by the adult-only spa pool area. Now the pool itself was out of action, but the hot tubs were open and they were packed. Honestly, we would have preferred to have spent the afternoon in there for free, in the warm, bubbling hot tubs, instead of in the Sanctuary. It was so much more inviting. And again, free! Now let's talk about something on board which was a real standout on this cruise: good spirits at sea. If you're a cocktail lover, this is the place to be. Karen and his team whipped up cocktails that were not only delicious but incredibly fun to watch being made. It's like watching a mixology performance. The drinks were just as tasty as they were entertaining too. Then there's Vine's Wine Bar. Located on deck 5 at the base of the piazza, Vine's serves the largest variety of wines on board. The sommelier Derek is a total gem. He took such good care of us, serving us some delicious wines paired with that very popular charcuterie board, which is the only specialty dining lunchtime offering on board. The ambience in Vines is super relaxed, cosy, and it's a perfect spot to unwind with a glass of wine after a busy day of cruising, and we reckon it's got the best view of any bars on board. We loved the Wheelhouse Bar. It's host to some great live music and a great place to go pre-theatre. Adagio Bar is located next door to Sabatini's Italian restaurant on deck 16, and it's so tucked away that we mostly forgot it was even there, and that's a real shame. We actually only visited it on the night that we ate in Sabatini's, and we really regret that. Apparently you can also take your dessert from Sabatini's in there, but we never made it that far. Crooners is located midship on deck 7, and it's in a prime location at the top of the piazza, perfect for people watching and listening to live music, or so we thought. Every time we went there, it was full of people who might as well have been asleep with do not disturb signs on their tables. We totally get it, and we completely understand that Princess does attract an older clientele, and for them this is probably the perfect location to enjoy a quiet drink, play a game of cards, or recover from an intense trivia session. And if that's your vibe, Crooners is definitely the place for you. But we were a little sad that it's missing any energy of a piano bar, and it just wasn't the place for us. So we smiled, we nodded, and we kept on walking. No hard feelings, Crooners, we'll let you nap in peace. The outdoor Tradewinds bar is located on deck 16 with amazing views over Neptune's pool. It's a really spacious area with some lovely modern seating, but beware, the sun up here can be intense because there's little in the way of any shade. And for the smokers out there, there is a small area near this bar for you. The casino on deck 6 has its own dedicated bar, and we honestly weren't expecting what we found in there. It's so much bigger than we expected, and it had a fantastic assortment of gambling tables and machines. The decor of the space though is what really made it stand out. The whole place has this cool industrial vibe, like they've built a casino inside an old warehouse and then packed it with slot machines, tables and a really large bar. We didn't spend too much time in here, mostly we were just passing through, but on the bright side that does mean we didn't lose any money. Then again, we didn't win thousands either. I think we'll call this one a neutral victory. Ah, the onboard shops, the perfect place to browse when you totally don't need anything, but you've somehow convinced yourself that duty free means free. Mike thinks I have a full-on shopping addiction, but in all honesty, and especially on a ship, it's all about supporting the cruise line, isn't it? But seriously though, as expected, Crown Princess has the usual array of jewellery stores, souvenir shops and fancy watches. But for me, it's all about the perfume and makeup shops. And while the perfume selection was great, there was barely any makeup to be found, and that's a real shame if you're hoping to stock up on your cruise glam. So guess what? I just had to make do with yet another bottle of perfume. Oh well, sacrifices must be made. The onboard art gallery. What can I say beyond I really wish cruise ships would get rid of these? We've been seeing exactly the same artwork on these ships for decades now. If you've ever bought something from a cruise ship art gallery, we'd love to know more about your experience in the comments. What was the process of getting your art home? Was the quality good? Have you had it valued? I'd love to know more. You never know, maybe we're missing out. Overall, we had a great time on Crown Princess. The staff are incredible and they're so welcoming and keen to talk and make real connections, which we loved. The ship herself is an older style and very typical of a lot of old princess ships. She's dated, but she's really well maintained, although that cabin did definitely need some TLC. The Plus and the Premier packages really do continue to offer great value if you want to drink alcohol or make use of specialty dining options. And as well as being great value, the fact that you never have to think about the costs when you're ordering a drink or a meal just makes the whole experience so much more relaxing. We've covered the Princess Medallion technology in a previous video, so we'll add a link to the description for that, but it does continue to be a game changer. We've cruised on a number of other lines since our last Princess cruise, and none are coming close to what Princess offers with the Medallion technology. That said, Ocean Now, where you can have your order delivered to you anywhere on the ship, wasn't fully available on this cruise, which was a real disappointment. So how much did all this cost? Well, thanks to an amazing online deal, we were able to book this 4-night all-inclusive luxury cruise for the grand total of $3,288 Australian dollars. We spent an additional $30 each for an afternoon in the sanctuary, but we had no additional costs for drinks, specialty dining or Wi-Fi, and those can really push up the cost of a trip like this. So the total cost per person per night was $418.50, which is amazing value when you compare it to our recent Disney cruise, which cost $511 per person per night, plus drinks, plus Wi-Fi and plus specialty dining. So what do you think? Would you sail on the Crown Princess? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to like, subscribe and hit that bell so you never miss an adventure with us. Until next time, happy cruising!